What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of Matchday Reloaded here live, Panenka Studios. And another Matchday Reloaded after another defeat for Manchester United. But first of all, it is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Let's start with some civility. Let's start with something that isn't football related. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Even to those who do not celebrate, just happy Sunday. You know, let's talk about anything but football. So if you are celebrating, if you are with family, loved ones, friends, or even if you're by yourself, you're with family this morning, you're here, United View, Matchday Reloaded. Everyone's welcome in Panenka Studios, certainly. Oh, we got to talk about yesterday again. It's certainly not the most wonderful time of the year, is it, for Manchester United? Another just utterly pathetic, toothless, impotent Manchester United performance yesterday. I wish I had the soundboard plugged in this morning. I'm not even doing that. I wish I could click the Bill Murray button. Boom. It's Groundhog Day again, because I feel like we saw that performance yesterday, that match yesterday, so many times this year. Not even this season. This year in 2023, which is what? I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the 20-25 minutes, don't play great, but don't play badly. Couple of chances away from home. Hey, should have taken those chances, shouldn't we? And as the game goes on, it inevitably gets to 60, 70 minutes. We concede one, then we can quickly concede the other, and we go, man, we should have taken those chances, shouldn't we? And it's just the same. And I've been thinking a lot over the last 12, 18 hours or so, because this is really what this show is, Matchday Reloaded. It's a look back, a reflection on the happenings, the events of the match the day before. We get reactions from today. We'll get some reactions from Flex, KG, Anton Ferdinand, as well as Good Vibes John. And I like to again kind of reflect and see how I feel about things maybe 12 hours later, because sometimes you can get caught up in the moment. Sometimes you can get caught up in the emotion of things. You can react to that and you can say things that maybe aren't completely based in total fact or whatever. But because I see people, I get this all the time on social media or in DMs or whatever, and they go, you Erik ten Hag out, Owen. You Erik ten Hag out. Are you ETA? And it's always that, is it? You Ollie in, you Ollie out. Are you Ralph in, you Ralph out? Are you Jose in, or you Jose out? And I've come to the decision with this. I'm not going to call for the manager's head. I'm not going to go, this manager needs to be sacked today. It needs to be sacked before Christmas. An early Christmas present would be sacking Erik ten Hag. Is Erik ten Hag going to be the one is he going to be the guy that takes us back to the promised land? I don't know. I don't know at this point. I don't know anything with Manchester United at this point. I'm just a fan. But what I won't do is say, this manager needs to get sacked tomorrow or today. And you know why? Because everyone at that club, and I include Ten Hag in this, everyone in that club, they can't keep getting away with it. They can't. It paints over what are just cavernous cracks in the foundation of this club. The players can't keep getting away with it. The manager as well can't keep getting away with it. But the executives of this club, they can't keep getting away with it. The owners, they can't keep getting away with it. And this is why I sort of push back of, people that would be like, oh, it's just got to get rid of Ten Hag and it'll get better. Maybe it will initially. But with these players that aren't good enough to put on the Manchester United shirt, with these people running the club that aren't good enough. You read the John Murtough article in the week from Laurie Whitwell. The guy's not fit for purpose. He shouldn't be in a role. We missed out on big signings. He's fallen out with people. You want to talk about falling out with people? He pissed off Sir Alex. I mean, that's like a cardinal sin. The owners that don't care. I mean, the recruitment department, that's shambolic. The medical department that's had to have a heavy audit and had to be scrapped and starting over again. The playing squad that's overvalued, that we can't sell, that's on massive wages, that aren't good enough week after week after week. And don't get me wrong, because you get into the territory now of, so you're saying Erik ten Hag is innocent. No, he's not, because he had a hand in putting it all together. But I'm at the territory at the moment, to be honest with you. I'm at this territory where I'm just like, you know what? Burn it all down. burn it all down, scrap it. But it doesn't get better if you just take out one element. We've done this. We've done this so many times. Let's just take out the manager, put a new one in, it will be better. No. Everyone has to go. That's what it is. If you're going to make changes to everything. Everything. Because if Erik ten Hag goes tomorrow and there's another guy to the end of the season, the results won't really change that much. The players, the moment that the manager says to this group of players how they, tell some home truths, how bad some of them actually are and how overpaid some of them are and that they shouldn't be at the club, they'll turn on him because they've turned on everyone. Because that's the culture of the club, because they're allowed to turn on the manager. Whether it's, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether it's Louis van Gaal, whether it's Jose Mourinho, whether it's even Ralf Rangnick, who came in and said, hey, I'm an interim, but I've got some job security because I'm going to be sticking around as a consultant. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about all of you, and I'm going to tell some home truths about all of you. And they went, we don't like that. How dare he come in here and tell me how rubbish I am? Get rid of him. And he went. So that's the thing. Is Erik ten Hag completely absolved of any blame? Of course not. His selections, his tactics, his in-game management this season, his hand in recruitment, which he's had a big part in, has been shocking. He's made big mistakes. But at the same time, again, it's the culture. It's literally, if we just go, all right, let's get rid of the manager, it's just papering over the cracks. And the way that I feel, and I've mentioned this quite a lot, recently, is that it just feels like, isn't it, whenever the Inos thing is ratified, and look, they're not going to be in role now until, January, February probably, that it's easy for them now. The easiest and best thing to do is for them to scrap all of it. Rip it all down, and then build it up bit by bit, and strategically build it up bit by bit. Let's build some foundations first. Let's get the foundation to all of it should be that there's a roadmap to a full buyout. That's the bedrock in which a new Manchester United needs to be built upon, is that by this date, the Glazers can be gone. That's one. That's the most crucial thing. And then you go, right, who's the CEO? And is the CEO fit for purpose? Is the CEO not a corporate banker that thinks he knows everything about football like Ed Woodward? Is he not a Richard Arnold who people like him, in terms of Jose? Jose was praising him the other day, saying he was a great guy, but he's a commercial guy. He's a commercial director, and he doesn't know nothing about football. So you start off, you go, right, Jean-Claude Blanc. Okay, that's the next step. Then you go, right, who's the sporting directors? And do they have experience in working with big clubs, putting together big football deals, and also buying people at a decent value, and then also being able to sell them on at a good value, and not putting people on big contracts so you're stuck with players that aren't good enough for however many years, and every time you try and sell them, they just dig their heels into the ground because they go, look, I ain't getting this contract anywhere else. Can the sporting directors, can we get those in that are fit for purpose? Then you go to the manager, and then you go, by the way, the manager and the sporting director and the CEO, they're completely aligned, and they look at all of these players and go, look, we've got to deal with the sins of the past because a lot of these players aren't good enough and they're on contracts that are too big, and we're going to have to take a loss, we're going to have to take a hit, and they go, we don't care, we're getting rid of them. That's what we need to do. And this is why I say it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. Because what we're having to do is unpick and untie knots that are over a decade in length and a decade in thickness. It doesn't get done overnight. We've tried the overnight solution. We've tried the overnight fixes. So Aston Villa Boxing Day, brace yourself for the rest of the season. Brace yourself. And I know it's not a great Christmas message, is it? Brace yourself for the rest of the season. But that's where we're at. And we're going to have to just sort of get through this, hope that it gets a bit better, because, look, yesterday we did have injuries. Look at the back four. I mean, the ironic thing is though, yesterday, and the injury stuff, okay, that's fair. But at the same time, I looked at the team yesterday and go, well, which part was really decimated by injury? It was our defence. I couldn't fault that much when it comes to our back four yesterday. I thought Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, maybe Luke Shaw could have done a bit better tracking the run for the first goal, but I thought they did okay. Johnny Evans was arguably our best player on the pitch. at 35 coming into 36. Kambwala made his Man United debut yesterday. I thought everything he needed to do, he did well. Again, what can you expect from him? So the part that's most decimated by injury, they did all right because they always do okay. It's the attacking players. It's the offensive players. It's the front 4 or 5 players that are meant to be some of our starters anyway. If everyone was fully fit, you'd probably expect Anthony to start. If everyone's fully fit, you'd expect Rasmus Højlund to start. He's £72 million. If everyone's fit, it's going to be Garnacho as Marcus Rashford. He's going to start. If everyone's fit, Bruno always starts. I don't know why McTominay's starting at the moment. I think when everyone's fit, hopefully he wouldn't. And I'm lost on this thing of, well, he offers goals, but he offers nothing. And when he doesn't score goals, it's literally playing with 10 players. Bruno Fernandez, I think people are right when they're saying, had he played against Liverpool, he might have lost that game. Yesterday was an example of that. Anytime there was some decent build-up or anything like that, what happened? Gets to Bruno, he's playing 1% passes, spamming passes or spamming shots or trying to switch it, going out of play, stopping attacks. It's a detriment to the side. Or it goes to the wide players and they're inside forwards, so all they do is cut inside, but there's a better option in the overlap, they don't take it. Or the decision making's poor. And it's sort of, you get 2/3 up the pitch and you go, that's not bad build-up play, played it out from the back. We played it out from the back several times. Yesterday, actually, pretty well. I couldn't complain too much about that, but then it gets into that final third and you know what's coming. Just flat. I called it ED football. You're impotent. They need Viagra or something to get it up, to finish. Because they can't. Let alone finish, they can't even get into the position to score. I don't know what they need. A dating coach or something? They got no riz. They got nothing. Nothing up front. And and the moment, and that's why you notice why we concede, like straight after we conceded the first goal, it's because we know we've lost. Because the moment an opposition side scores, we go, that's it. Why? Because we ain't scoring. we ain't scoring. And that's why I kind of give the benefit of the doubt to the defenders. Not only is that, a hampered back four of injury, but also you're looking at your defenders and to an extent your goalkeeper. And I know Andre Onana he's made so many mistakes this season. But from a defensive point of view, you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. Not necessarily to even win the game, just to get a point. Like against Liverpool, defensively, you've got to be perfect. Otherwise, we're getting nothing out of the game. Why? Because we can't rely on the attacking players. We can't. And again, that's why you look at Ten Hag and you go, absolutely, you're culpable of that. But I don't think any manager with this group of players, with this structure that exists at Manchester United, I don't think anyone succeeds. Anyone. Because this structure, these players, everything is set up to fail. It is. So, for people going, let's just bring Graham Potter in now, and we're talking about a guy that the Chelsea job was too big for him. We're talking about the Chelsea job that one of the biggest criticisms of him in that job was that it was too big for him and the structure was too chaotic. That was at Chelsea. Again, I'm not saying Erik Ten Hag, he's the guy and he's the one that's going to fix everything for Manchester United. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying whoever it is, and again, not now, because I don't want to see a new manager in charge until everything else is fixed first. We can't keep doing this cycle again and again and again and again and again and expecting different results. We just can't do that. And we also, I think as fans, have to realise that nothing's going to happen until Inos are in anyway. The people that are currently in charge, they don't even have the power to do it. I mean, it's been widely reported, Patrick Stewart, he's an interim CEO. He doesn't even have the authority to make that decision. The Glazers, they're not going to sign off on anything anyway until this deal is done. So we are where we have been for over a year now, which is where we are frozen. We are completely frozen in time. There is no progression. There is only regression, but you can't move forward during this period anyway because there's no long-term aim because we don't know what the long-term aim is. So if you're completely stuck and frozen and not looking forward, eventually what happens, people start passing you by. And by proxy, you start going backwards. And that's the position that Manchester United have found themselves in this season. So, like I said, and for the rest of the season, this is going to be us. This is going to be us for the rest of the season. There are going to be some results that are all right. Against the lower teams, we're going to be away performances like yesterday that we have seen for the best part of 12 months nearly. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. But as I said, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, manager go today or manager go tomorrow. Because you go, well, then what? Then what do we do? Then what gets fixed? You know? It needs, for once, if Manchester United do decide to make that call or that decision, there has to be strategy. Because there's been none for the longest time. There needs to be strategy, there needs to be direction, and there needs to be a plan, you know. And again, I get the reaction, I get the emotion of, oh, let's just get rid of him. And then you go, well, then what? And I know some people have said to me, well, I'm just a fan, so that's not my job. But it is their job. And if they think like that, if they just react and just go, I'll just get rid of him, then what do we do? Then what? There needs to be strategy. There needs to be plan. There needs to be, okay, we're going to get rid of Ten Hag. All right, but that's an Inos call. That's a Jean-Claude Blanc and Jim Ratcliffe call. That's a Dave Brailsford call. And this is going to be the new manager. And this is going to be the sporting director. And this is going to be the players we're going to look to get. And these are going to be the players we're going to be looking to get rid of. There has to be a plan. Enough with the reactionary, knee-jerk stuff. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. But that's where we're at the moment. Let's get some reaction from Flex. He was outside the London Stadium. Here are his thoughts, his reactions on the game, including a conversation he had with Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
And what can you say? And what can you say? At the end of the day, we got what we deserved. We got what we deserved because we were spineless in attack. We were toothless in midfield. And just conceded pathetic, petty goals. And so the first half, look, there was nothing in it. Both teams were really, really poor. Man United couldn't get going. There was no real danger from West Ham. You know, their fans were so quiet. It wasn't even like one West Ham fan singing, nothing. It was dead as a doornail. I was sitting there to Anton, I'm saying, well, I'll tell you what, this game is here for Man United to go on and win. You know, improve in the final third. And what we got in the final third was absolutely awful. You know, Garnacho was sort of clean through, couldn't sort his feet out. Anthony sort of cutting in, easy shot for Areola. Kobbie Mainoo had a shot as well that got spilled, which should never have got spilled. But there was just no cohesive unit. There was no sort of understanding of where everyone's going to be. There was no thought behind it. There was no planning behind it. And that made it really easy for West Ham. I looked at Rasmus Højlund again and again. Listen, I like Rasmus Højlund and I think that there's something there for the future. But that's exactly what it is. It's for the future. It's not for now. Well done, mate. You've done well. You've done well. It's for the future. He's not ready to lead the line for Man United. He looks like a little kid against big grown men. And essentially that's what he is. Now, I know he's 20 years of age, I think. And I believe that there's something there. But right now, it's not working. Then you look to young Garnacho, it's not working there. And you're looking at Anthony, it's not working there. We have nothing in attack. Nothing up top. Awful. And in midfield, obviously, Bruno comes back in. He's supposed to be captaining us today. Supposed to be leading the way. And what we get is arms up, you know, poor passes. He made one good pass through ball to Luke Shaw where we crossed it and then West Ham comfortably cleared it. But again, he went missing. I think McTominay, again, nothing there in midfield. No creativity, no ball retention, no nothing. Kobbie Mainoo plays beyond his years, but he did make a big mistake, obviously, for the second goal, which killed the game. But you're not going to get onto a young kid who's starting to understand how to play his role. He's starting to understand how to move forward in his Man United career and get involved. So that's what we need to do with him and give him confidence. He knows that he's made a mistake. But essentially, we were at 6s and 7s, and it's like, again, at Liverpool, what did we say? That was not enough. That was not going to be enough to make us feel like we could come here and win. And I said it. I said, look, just because we've done that, do you feel like we can go and win against West Ham? Probably not. And that was exactly what happened. But the biggest concern for me is a complete lack of goals. The types of goals we conceded, which were poor. Obviously, young Camboila comes in there, didn't put a foot wrong. Darren Fletcher was sat next to me up in the gantry and he said that he was coming off the last 10 minutes because he had some cramps, so fair play. Kid didn't expect to play, didn't really put a foot wrong. But how you let Paquetá, be able to dink the ball over the defence like that. Luke Shaw, not close enough, couldn't get there. And then Bowen gets a little bit of luck off Onana and it goes in. It was just so poor. It was really, really poor. And then you just knew we were never going to score. We were never going to score. Marcus Rashford comes on up front, hardly had a look in. Looked like he was, couldn't get involved in the game. head straight down the tunnel at the end. Most players did. I think Eriksen went over to clap. Kambuala did. Said sorry for the performance. And I caught up with Aaron Wan-Bissaka after the game, and it's sort of a chat. You know, the clip's gone out, but in terms of what we said, you know, you can't hear. But I'll let you know, he was just down. He was just saying, we're just in a bad moment. You know, the confidence is low, the confidence is down. And I'm saying to him, look, bro, us as fans, listen, we're there. We're trying to get behind you guys. We're trying to see a way through this, but the whole thing needs to restart. And I actually said that to him, and I felt a bit bad because I don't know what he felt I meant by that. I said the whole thing needs to scrap and start again, bro. And he was sort of just taking it in. He didn't really respond to that bit. I'm not going to be out here saying, Aaron Wan-Bissaka gave me an exclusive and said this. It was just a pure, real emotion that I displayed to him as a fan, to somebody that he can, you know, resonate with. And I said, bro, it looks like we're not together out there. And he said, I know, I get it. We're in a tough moment. And that's what hurts. It's just like you can't see where it goes from there. Well done, mate. You played well. Well done. You played well. And you know, and that's it. The West Ham fans are off happy. You know, they're really buzzing with beating Man United 2-0 without even needing to be great. It's easy to beat Man United. We're easy to play against. We're very predictable. You know, we're easy to defend against. Zuma, he's coming across quite a few times, clearing the ball. Soufal was good in the tackle. Garnacho didn't get no joy out of him. On the other side, who was at Emerson, was comfortable. They're all just comfortable. Mavropanos, the Arsenal reject, he don't even play.
Big up Flex outside the London Stadium there yesterday. And yeah, it was interesting to hear what he was saying about talking to Aaron Wan-Bissaka after the game. And it's one of those situations where you go, well, what more needs to be said? Everyone's got eyeballs. Everyone can see, you know. And as I said at the top of the show, when we were doing the match for yesterday, KG and myself, and we had that like 25 minutes or whatever where we were knocking the ball around okay. And I think one of them was after the Garnacho chance. And I said to him at the time, I said, the problem is we have seen this. We have seen this, and we have seen this match so many times, which is you go, that's a good chance. Need to take that. And then as the game goes on, we peter out, they score. It's so predictable. So predictable every single time. And we got some quotes from the manager after the game. And as you could expect, you know, they don't look particularly good. Ten Hag said it was a solid performance, but we didn't score. He said we were in total control in and out of possession. We gave them nothing until the 72nd minute when we switched off. But even that, you would push back to me. You'd say, Eric, this is the thing. That, okay, you can be in control of possession. We dominated possession of the game. And you could say we gave them nothing until the 72nd minute. I don't know about that. I remember Onana had, was it a header from Jared Bowen? As the game went on, you knew what was coming. And this is why, I said before, I sympathise with the defenders in the game because they've got to be perfect. Like, they have to put in a 10 out of 10 performance with 0 mistakes, because if they make one mistake, we're going to lose. Or we're certainly not even going to get a point because we're not scoring. One of our best away performances was against Everton, right? That 3-0 win. And what happened? We got early chances and we scored. Killed the game. Can't do it. Ten Hag was asked about Alejandro Garnacho. He said, I think he is confident. He's in good form at the moment. He was one-on-one with the keeper and he could have taken it, but we didn't. He said, quote, we tried. West Ham weren't running behind us for a long period in the game, and then they get the goal. And then, of course, you encourage the team. From that, we were very aggressive defending the box. And from that moment, it's difficult to create a chance. At this moment, we are not top. We have seen last week against the top of the league. We were head-to-head. We didn't score. We had the best opportunities in the game. The problem is you can't even keep referring to the Liverpool game like it's done. It's done. And I still push back to those Liverpool fans because I saw them yesterday being like, oh, so you were celebrating the 0-0 draw. You saw exactly why people were celebrating the 0-0 draw. I don't know if you've watched the last 2 games. We're shit. We're rubbish. So, of course, if we go to the top of the league and in a derby, which everyone predicted we were going to lose 5-6-0, if you get 0-0, you take it. Absolutely. You'll take it, right? So, I don't really get that logic of, oh, you're so embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. Have you seen how bad we are? And you and you couldn't beat us. Oh my goodness. He said, Ten Hag quote, in 2023, we won a cup. We played the FA Cup final. We were third in the league. There were highlights, but we are overperforming. But in this moment, we are underperforming. He was asked the reasons for underperforming and said there are reasons for it. We have many injuries, so the team will be better if the injured ones return. We have to be calm, stick together, stick to the plan. We have to do it together. But this is the point I was making earlier on. You can bemoan injuries and you can talk about injuries, but honestly, I look at the attacking players yesterday and I go, well, injuries weren't the reason for Antony and Garnacho having really little creativity. Injuries weren't the reason for Rasmus Højlund getting, I think, one pass to him during the game. Injuries weren't the reason why Bruno Fernandez, again, was playing 1% passes or spamming passes or taking shots over the bar. That's on the players. Like, they're meant to be, some of them are starters even when everyone's got, we're fully fit. Not good. Again, they're just not good enough. That's it. Just not good enough at all. Ten Hag said, I think it was a decent 72 minutes where we didn't take our chances. We should have gone in the lead, but we didn't. And then in one moment, it was switching off. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of even I said it earlier on, we played well for 20 minutes, 72 minutes, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. You don't, it's football's over 90. Revelation, I know. Football's over 90 minutes. Not 20, not 25, not 30, not 45, not 72. It's over 90. And as I said, and I'll keep saying, and apologies to repeat myself, but I see people in the comments when they go, so you're saying get rid of the manager. I'm saying get rid of everyone. And I'm saying that I'm not going to call for the manager to go today or tomorrow, get rid of him or anything like that, because I think it lets the players and it lets just the way this football club is run, it lets them off, honestly. And I think that I just want a plan. I know, call me crazy, folks. I just want a plan. That's all I want. If you're going to get rid of Erik Ten Hag, or if that's what Inos' decision, fine. I'm not going to have too much resistance on it, I feel bad for him. But if there is a tangible plan with a new CEO, with new sporting directors, with a new manager, and new players, these players can't stay. They cannot stay. A new medical department, a new recruitment department. Everything needs to change. This doesn't get fixed by just one change. We just need a new manager, then it'll be better. This doesn't get fixed even when it's like, oh, just get new players in. No, because these people that run the club and run recruitment, John Murtough, they can't get new players in terms of the players we actually need for good value. They can't sell players. That's why everything has to go. All right? Desperation, Boxing Day sale settings. Everything must go. Doesn't even matter the price. Get rid of it. Start over again. And the problem is that process isn't going to happen until Ineos are confirmed and ratified. So it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to be rough. It's going to be horrible. And we just have to hope. And at the moment it is hope. We just have to hope that there's going to be this light at the end of the tunnel, that it's going to happen, to be honest with you. But Man United, we stick in this cycle over and over and over and over and over again if we just keep doing the same things, which are cosmetic changes and papering over the cracks. Everything must go. Everything. Let's get some more reaction. Let's go to KG. Here are his thoughts after the game.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome to you, fam. It's just rubbish, man. Man United, nil. West Ham 2. Typical. It's us. We're here again, back here again. And I can't even say I'm worried for the manager. It's going to happen, innit? It's going to be one of those ones. It's going to happen. Why? Because the same mistakes over and over again. And we have ourselves to blame in this situation. I don't want to try and blame anybody else. Man United put their best attacking force out there. Rashford, well, we've given him a new contract, innit? Who gave him the new contract? Ten Hag gave him the new contract. So it is what it is. Can't complain. You put your hat on him. You said he's the man to lead us forward. He gets that. Højlund, 72 million. Put your hat on him. It's not working at the moment. Not saying Højlund's dead or nothing. It's just not working. Another player, Anthony. I don't know how much we bought him in for. Just hasn't worked. Like, literally going forward, the football's just ridiculous. We're ridiculous. We won't learn. We're just who we are. McTominay again. It is what it is. It's the same old, same old. Where I'm here with the same old story, people. Unfortunately, goalkeeper distribution was good today. It was good today. Then the main part of being a goalkeeper, keep the ball out of the net. All the decisions Ten Hag has made has not worked. It hasn't worked. It hasn't. Like it's better, but then I don't know what the score was in the last game, but we haven't scored in 4 games. What do you do? I can tell you, we could play for another hour. We're not scoring. We're not scoring. Why? Because we're dead. Dead. We're dead. We're dead. And now it's like, it's clear. Like, it's so obvious. Like, we know where this is going. It's a slow walk towards the end. And I honestly don't know what to say. We're beyond the banner club. We're beyond it. We're just the worst. We're not elite. We can't play football. Don't know what we're doing. Bruno, joke man, in midfield, doing absolutely nothing. Like this team's embarrassing. It is. This team is embarrassing. We've ruined everything. We've ruined the transfer window. Signings everything is ruined. We've ruined everything. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. Just to be on poor dad office. Now, like, just I don't even say like definitely used to this. But bloody hell. Man United, yeah. I can't even, when you talk like, even when I have to do a 5 things deep, what am I going to talk about? Well, I can talk about how rubbish we are. Johnny Evans was probably our best player today. That tells you everything you need to know. Campbell, like, oh my goodness. It's looking like another rebuild, ladies and gentlemen. Reset the clock. Another 4 to 5 years of this, This is what we are. I don't even know. I can't even talk to you lot for as long as I would like to. Not because I got to go and do the boxing. Just this is garbage. Like every day. Imagine Man United. Yeah, that's it. Ruin Christmas. Not for me though. They can't ruin my Christmas, but they've ruined it for other fans around the world to just have this team. Like this team has mashed everyone up, and we're just. And the why possession stats are stupid is we had all the possession in the world today. Who did it when it mattered? West Ham. Liverpool fighting for your lives. It means nothing now. These are the games you have to go on and win. You can't win them. 2-0. Hold that. Literally. Blowing bubbles FC, fam. Them man blew bare bubbles, fam. Right now, I don't know what to say, man. Rashford's ginger. Bruno's just like, I don't even know what he's doing with that captain's armband. If you ask me, if I'm being real, like that wasn't a captain's performance, just terrible. Anthony, don't know what Anthony's doing. Anthony, I hate to say it, Anthony's dead.
Big up to KG, who, is pretty dejected. I don't really blame him. Big up Chalaboy Comics, who says here, we're in the middle of a rebuild, but somehow we don't want to back the team during tough times. We had youngsters playing and they did well. We just lack quality. Trust the process, guys. And look, Chalaboy Comics is a regular caller on the Full-Time View, but this is where I have to push back a bit, because at the moment, Chalaboy Comics, this is part of the problem. There is no process. And again, that's not even necessarily, that's partially on Erik ten Hag, but I mean as a club, as a whole. There is no process. There is no plan, because there can't be. There can't be a plan, because people aren't in positions of power that are going to be in positions of power. That's part of the whole problem. That's why I say earlier on, like, it's not just get rid of the manager, because everyone must go for this to get fixed. And, you know, and to be honest, when it comes to some of those players, I don't want to back some of those players. Some of those players aren't good enough. Some of those players have been back for a long time. Some of those players, people have supported and tried to support. And every single time, eventually, it gets thrown back in our faces. And I know you have to blindly support the team at points, and I do. Trust me, I do. But I can't look at what's going on right now and say that is a process or that is a rebuild. The rebuild hasn't started yet. The rebuild, the sort of the groundwork or the beginning stages or the planning, rather, for a rebuild began once Inos found out that they were the preferred bidder and they were figuring out those details. It cannot start. The rebuild can't start until they're in position, and the people that have been in positions of power at this club for too long are no longer in positions of power. The true rebuild of getting the soul back of Manchester United can't ever really begin until the Glazers are no longer in the club, or at least not in majority control of the club. But United aren't in a rebuild or a process right now. That can hopefully start once, again, these executives are gone and once the boardroom changes and once these players go. But at the moment, we're not in anything. And again, that's part of where we are at the moment. We're not in anything. We are frozen. As I mentioned, we are frozen. We are stuck. And this is why we can't keep doing the same things that we've been doing before, which is keep repeating the same cycle. So that's why I say it will get worse before it gets better, because we're going in the same direction. And you can't. The definition of insanity is expecting to do the same things, and it's doing the same things and expecting different results. And I mean that in terms of getting rid of the manager, but I also mean that in terms of picking the same group of players and expecting something different to happen on the pitch. Let's be honest. How many times have I said it today? We've seen that game. We've seen that result. We've seen that performance since March. We've seen that. Whether it's, Spurs away, whether it's Arsenal away, whether it's whoever, you can pick it. You can pick Brighton away, Villa away. That performance we have seen so many times, which is, we just lack a bit of quality, or we just couldn't finish. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And then we lose. Then we lose. So it's bigger than just changing the manager, but also some of these players, you just can't. You can't back them anymore because they're not good enough. They are just not good enough. And look, as soon as when they put the shirt on there on the pitch, of course I'm going to support them. But in terms of believing in them to turn it around, some of them I just don't think they can. Some of them are just not good enough. And sometimes that's not their fault as well. That's on us. That's on us for buying them. That's on us for overspending on them. That's on us. Well, John Murtough, I say us, the collective Manchester United, but that's on the recruitment department. That's on John Murtough for buying someone that was scouted like Anthony at one point valued as £25 million for 85. Then what do you expect? If you've got someone that's really worth 25 million on the pitch, but you buy him for 85, and suddenly you get a performance, to be honest, not even really a 25 million pound performance, but then what do you expect? So I can't trust the process because there isn't one at the moment. I can't trust the rebuild because there isn't one. It hasn't started yet. The process or the rebuild is we're trying to get planning permission at this point. And then, as I mentioned earlier on, then we get into CEO, sporting directors. Then maybe it's a new manager, and then it's also they're aligned to say all these players, you're out of here. You're gone. And we can't keep putting the chicken before the egg or whatever you want to call it, because that's what we keep doing. We're always just Man United's, the way the club operates, it's like Jenga. They literally just pull one brick out and go, that'll fix it. And they'll slide another one in. That's done. That'll fix the whole problem. The thing's still falling down. The thing's still decrepit. The thing's still swaying in the wind all the time. No, knock it down and build it brick by brick. And then you've got a firm structure. You've got something that's solid, that's successful. That's all. So that whole process, I don't think has started yet, to be honest with you. And again, that's where we are. Let's get some more reaction. This time from Anton Ferdinand. Always interesting to hear an opposition point of view because, of course, sometimes they will see or say things that others people won't say. Here's what Ferdinand said.
You said it. What did he say? Kudus, real star boy. He gets his goal, then starts olaying us. We make a mistake. Little Flynn behind the camera is loving it. I don't know. Just pathetic from us. Absolutely pathetic. And you deserve to win in the end, but you didn't need to be great to beat Man United today.
That's what's so surprising, is that we didn't need to be at our best to win today. Like, first half, we were dreadful in the first half. Both teams were,
yeah, both teams.
to be fair. It was a boring game in the first half. But then second half, when we had chances, we took them. You know, and I think Alvarez started to get more of a grip on the game. Ward-Prowse started to get on the ball a bit more. And Paqueta did. And when Paqueta gets on the ball a lot more, you know he's going to make things happen. And he got 3 assists last week, and this week he got 2. You know, and he became the difference. But like I said, Kudus is the real star boy.
He's proper. And we've said it on our shows before, and it's like, how have we not got him? You know what I mean? You look that we've got Anthony, and you want him half the price. He's come to West Ham, he's ripping it up. It took him a while to get into it, and now he's just flying. And again, like, listen, Kobbie makes a mistake, and he's a young kid in it, so he goes to put his foot on the ball, he misses it, or goes to pass it, I think, misses it, goes to Kudus.
Yeah.
And then, but for what Kudus still has to do with his weaker foot, which he doesn't even have one, like, it's still a great finish, and it's like, you can't give him that type of space there. And obviously that was his game over, but from us, there was just nothing coming back. West Ham probably never felt in trouble at all, apart from a couple clearances from Zuma. We defended well.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really surprising for me. Like, obviously having played against Man United in the era where you were great, you know, like seeing Højlund behind the ball on the edge of your box. So your number 9 is in your half on the edge of your box defending. Like a compact team. That's not what Man United are about. And so to see that, and then us come away from this with a 2-0 win, and it was convincing in the end, you know. And what I don't see from Man United is the fact that when they go down a goal, there's no reaction.
Nothing. Bro,
no reaction.
As soon as we went 1 down, what did I say? I said,
You said that's it.
That's it. Game done. It was. We were only going to be able to score max 1 goal, and it's like, and the thing that annoys me is, like I said, West Ham, like, the first half, like, the place was quiet. I was like, it was really eerie. I was like, what's going on? It's like, it felt a bit weird. A couple of the staff were saying, yeah, sometimes 12:30 kickoffs, and it's like there wasn't much in the game, and it's like Man United just went, we'll just kind of sit off and let West. And second half, you were the ones who tried to force the issue and got what you deserve, which is, you know, the goals.
Yeah, we're the home
And
team.
that's what pissed me off the most.
We're the home team, you know, so we got to be on the front foot, you know. We got to come out to win the game, you know, and try and win the game. Our fans don't want anything less, no matter who we're playing against at home, and that's always been the West Ham way. Whoever we're playing against, we try to go and win the game. But when you're up against nothing, you know, like, it's almost powder puff. It was powder puff from Man United, but from a West Ham point of view, it was fantastic. We're now back up into 6th place.
Above Man United.
Yeah.
I mean, through in the Europa League, like.
Yeah.
And I hate, and every time I come here, apart from like the odd little time here or there, I hate coming here, bro. I can't even say it's a fortress, but it's like every time I come here, it's uncomfortable.
Do you know what
And I usually lose.
Do you know what the best thing about it was? What did you say before the game? We're gonna burst your bubble.
Yeah, I was giving it. It was pitch side. I was like, listen, gonna burst their bubbles, this, that, and the other, and rare.
Oh, what happened? We burst your bubble, yeah.
And the thing is, Anton's he's taking pictures of me, you know what I mean, and saying, oh, you know, hold that, and I have to hold it again. But I said in after in the preview, I was like, after the Liverpool draw, that wasn't the type of performance that filled me with confidence to be able to come here and say, calm, we'll be all right. I knew it. We're not scoring goals. And like I said, I looked at West Ham and it's like, I did expect a lot more, especially in the first half. I expected to see Bowen doing a madness, Kudus. You know, we were saying first half, sure, he was all right against Kudus. Nothing really going on. Second half, thing just opened up.
And listen, that's the thing. We came out in the second half a new team. It was like almost like David Moyes had a word at half time and said we've got to be a bit more progressive, get on the ball, get our good players on the ball, And that's what we've done. And as I said, when Paqueta started to get on the ball, that's the thing. I don't see a Paqueta in your team.
That's what Bruno Fernandez is supposed to be.
I don't see it. Like I said to you at the end, one of the times at the end in the last 5 minutes where he went to go and press the goalkeeper. Like, why are you doing that?
What do you think to like Bruno's performance as the captain and just like him in general? If he was in your team or, he is obviously in a big Man United team.
He would get on my nerves. If I'm being honest, he would get on my nerves. And if we was in a dressing room, there'll be problems. Just for the fact of I don't like watching him live today, especially because I don't watch them live a lot. But watching him live today, the way he vacates the middle of the park so quickly to make it look like I'm working hard, but really he's killing the team, because you don't want to vacate the middle of the park and leave your midfield open, which is what he does. But to the fans that are watching, they're going, "Oh, Bruno's working hard as our captain," when really he's actually killing the team. That for me, if I was playing in that type of team, if I was playing that team and he was doing that, or any team that I played in, if a player done that, they got told, that's one thing you don't do.
Do you think it seems selfish? You think it's like
selfish? It is very selfish. It's like I said, look at me, guys. I'm working hard. When really, he's taking himself out the most important part of the team, which is the centre of the pitch.
So you say it's one thing leading by example, then there's another thing like sort of being naive or being negligent and selfish.
Exactly. I'm not saying don't work hard. So you're running and you're working hard. It is, but you're doing it in the wrong time and you're doing it in the wrong areas. And any footballer that's played at any decent level knows that. And when they're in a hard time, it's even more important not to be.
Big up Anton Ferdinand talking to Flex after the game outside the London Stadium. And to be honest, the stuff he's saying in particular about Bruno Fernandez, can't really argue with it. I can't. Yesterday, I thought he was shocking. I thought he was absolutely shocking. And he's meant to be, and this is where the criticism of Bruno as the captain is valid. It really is. It's really valid, because yesterday was not a captain's performance. Yesterday was, I said earlier on, that situation where the build-up play from the back's pretty good. Centre-backs, full-backs, play ourselves out of trouble, goes to Kobbie Mainoo, gets 2/3 up the pitch. What does he do? 1% pass, tries to thread the ball through the eye of the needle, or goes for a shot miles over the bar, this, that, and the other. And I remember when Bruno first came in, and people, sort of the criticism about Bruno was those same criticisms, really. But, he's getting numbers, he's getting goals, he's getting assists. I understand he was playing a bit of a different role at that point, more of a shadow striker as opposed to more of a number 10 or a bit of a deeper role that he's playing now. But he's contributing something. In a game like yesterday, he contributed nothing. I mean, Scott McTominay as well contributed nothing. But, with Bruno, with McTominay, you're going, well, if everyone's fit, he's not going to be in the team. If everyone's fit, Bruno Fernandez is still going to be in that team. And you do look at the Liverpool game, and there's an argument to be said that we did play better without him. I'm not saying get rid of Bruno Fernandez, sell him, but I'm saying that, again, when we're talking about this new structure, or when anyone comes in, when the sporting directors come in, I've said this a million times, I'm not attached to any players. If the new manager came in, whoever it was, because it looks like that's what it'll be in the Inos era, and the new sporting directors and the new CEO say, no, we're going to move on from Bruno Fernandez, fine. They say we want to move on from Marcus Rashford, fine. They want to move on from anyone can go, because nobody's pulling their weight at the moment. They're just not doing it. And I don't know if it's the burden of the captaincy, but yesterday with Bruno Fernandez, he was shocking. And Anton Ferdinand's right. There was a one attack where he went down because it was a soft challenge on him. The attack's still going on, but he's on the floor. He's on the floor. What's he doing? I'm not attached to anyone. Anyone can go. Frankly, they should all go. There's very few players in that team, honestly, at the moment, that I go, I'd like them to stay in whatever the new version of Man United is, or we can build upon that. We can build around him. Kobbie Mainoo, I'd say cool, keep him. You can build around him. The rest, is there anyone? Realistically, say maybe keep like Leacher when he comes back, maybe. But anyone, there's nothing to attach onto. And I mentioned Kobbie Mainoo there. I really do feel bad for him because people were focusing on his mistake, and some people, I was very surprised. Some people were saying, this is why we shouldn't put too much pressure on him. I thought Kobbie Mainoo handled the pressure really well yesterday. I thought, bar the mistake, which was, if you actually look back on it, he gets given the ball, Kobbie Mainoo, the ball goes under his feet. It's just an error. But he was one of our better players yesterday. Kobbie Mainoo and Johnny Evans, and what a pair that is, were two of our best players yesterday. Kobbie Mainoo, someone said it in the match feed, they go, why are you gassing him up every time he does something simple? Because no one else does it. I mean, we say this as fans, why is he's just doing simple passes? No one else does that. Scott McTominay can't pass the ball 5 yards. Bruno Fernandez is trying to switch that goes out for a throw in every 5 seconds. Kobbie Mainoo's receiving the ball, back facing the opposition goal. He'll turn, he'll give it and go. He'll pass it out to the fullbacks. He kept things ticking over. So, and I've said this so many times, that it's frightening. It's frightening that when he's playing on the pitch with yesterday, again, him and Johnny Evans were our two best technical players on the ball. Do you know how crazy that is? Because Johnny Evans is 35, coming into 36, and Kobbie Mainoo is 18. And it's not even a case of, Kobbie Mainoo, he's generational, he's a starlet or anything like that. We don't know what his future's going to be. I think we've got high hopes. But you're looking around to everyone else on the pitch, senior players, and going, you can't pass the ball 5 yards. You can't, is that what we're really saying? So I think Kobbie Mainoo can hold his head up perfectly. Kambuala yesterday, I thought he did fine. For a kid coming in and having his first Premier League start, in those situations, you just say to him, if you get the ball, play it simple, give it to your centre-back, give it to your full-back. Can't really fault him. Didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. Again, defensively, a lot of them didn't do that much wrong. But I find it strange people that were kind of going after Kobbie Mainoo yesterday. This is why we shouldn't play the youngster. Yesterday is exactly why we should have played the youngster. Because he showed up how bad some of these senior players are. That's a kid. That's a guy that's played, he's in single digits of Premier League starts for Manchester United. And he's our best technical player on the pitch. That says a lot. That says so much about some of those other players in that team and in that squad. And certainly, I ain't going to come on here and be like, Kobbie Mainoo, he shouldn't be playing. Kobbie Mainoo should absolutely be playing because he puts in effort. He actually has legitimate technical quality. He's comfortable on the ball. He progresses the ball. It must be so frustrating for him because he gets the ball, receives it, turns, puts a decent ball out to the flanks, whether it's to the left side, to the right side, or through the middle. And what happens? It comes to nothing. It comes to zero every single time. You must be like bashing your head against the wall. Because you're going, I'm giving you stuff here, and nothing's happening. So, credit to Kobbie Mainoo. Forget the mistake; they happen. But, and I would think most fans probably do look at Kobbie Mainoo yesterday and go, look, mistakes happen. We don't care about that. We saw what you did during the game. You were quality. It's the other people. It's nothing to do with Kobbie Mainoo, certainly. Finally, let's get some reaction from Good Vibes, John. I think the Good Vibes went a long time ago.
Seems to be the story of our season so far. The inconsistent. I don't even know how to phrase it. I
don't even know what you just said.
Yeah, exactly. I think that translates onto the pitch because we have no idea what we're seeing on that pitch. It is just a lack of answers. It is a lack of quality, a lack of trust, decisiveness, a lack in so many elements of a footballing team. And I'm truly at a loss for words. Jimmy, just talk to me about what your thoughts are. Quickly summarize to me your overall analysis of the game.
I have no thoughts. That first half, it gave you the hope that maybe we can do something in the second half. We had a chance with Garnacho. Regrettably, I think he could have done a lot better there. We had passes that were just inconsistent. You saw Garnacho putting in bad passes. You saw Anthony putting in bad passes. We did not see Bruno do anything in that first half. I still don't understand how Johnny Evans is still in this squad as a first choice center back right now and still putting in a shift. Like, that just is mind boggling to me. And the fact that we walked into the second half and it absolutely capitulated with bad defensive performance. Even worse, it was not bad in the first half, but even worse attacking output in the second half. Rashford coming on in the 55th minute and doing absolutely nothing. I don't even think I saw him on the ball until like the 80th minute. What does that say about our team right now? I think we saw Bruno Fernandez doing more in the second half, creating more chances, but he could be our best chance creator, but we can't do anything if you have a Garnacho or Anthony taking 10 touches in the box and not feeding it to anyone. I think the first time we saw an actual good decent. I'm not going to say it was a great ball, but a decent ball into the box was Luke Shaw. In the 78th minute, went all the way across the pitch. But I can't be the only one sitting here and thinking that our strikers and our attackers are doing well when you see stuff like that. I mean, what's your thought on that performance, especially from, the attacking point of view, the defensive point of view, and everything?
I think far too many times our defensive aspect to the game has been criticized and questioned, but today was the first time ever where I'm fuming. I'm beyond frustrated at our forward line. Like, it was the first time ever where I was just like, this fucking stinks. This fucking stinks.
Yep.
You mentioned Johnny Evans there. He put in a fucking shift today. Willie Kambwala, a young lad. Imagine him just chilling, training with the U18s, the Rezzies, and he's just relaxing and just, learning the trade, and all of a sudden he gets a call up because Manchester United are capitulating. He's our 10th fucking center back this year. 10th center back choice. And you can blame Eric Ten Hag certain things, and I'm not going to say he's void of any criticism. He definitely takes blame for a lot of decisions going on at the club as well. But some of the situations are out of his control. How do you blame that on him?
Yeah, I mean,
big up, John. I mean, monetization's going very early this morning. John's got maybe the worst potty mouth. Good Vibes John has probably the biggest potty mouth on the whole channel, actually, which is, I wasn't expecting that from him. Oh, well, there you go, guys. That's Matchday Reloaded for you this morning. A Christmas Eve edition. What's my Christmas message to all you guys? We're shit. Man United is shit. Get rid of everyone. CEO's gone. Next is John Murto. Get rid of him. Like I said, Manchester United is a Jenga tower. Okay, we're a Jenga tower that's swaying and nearly falling over. And we think by fixing it, it's just pulling out that one brick and putting another one back in its place. Nothing's going to change. Knock the tower over. Knock the tower over. Get rid of the players. Get rid of the executives. Get rid of the CEO, which we're already doing. And if Ten Hag gets swept up in that, then it is what it is. Because this club is doomed to fail. It's rotten from the inside and out. It is quite literally a Christmas nightmare. And hopefully the ghost, and we're still dealing with the ghost of Christmas past and present. Hopefully the ghost of the future is that one with actual strategy and plan is the way to go. Because that's what we need. Strategy. We need plan. If you're going to get rid of Erik Ten Hag, okay, what's your plan? What's your strategy? Because Manchester United have been aimless and planless for so long, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's where we're at. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but there needs to be strategy and there needs to be plan, because it's all of it just needs to go. All of it needs to go, and we just need to, hopefully the new year brings a new Manchester United. I don't know. Yusuf says Ten Hag should apologise to Sancho. Even Jadon Sancho, it's beyond that. I mean, I saw people, we've got to stop this as well. Let's stop the player revisionism. Because any player that's out of the side for 5 minutes, we go, bring them back in, they'll be great. Get rid of Jadon Sancho too. That whole situation, I mean, regardless of whoever you want to blame, Jadon Sancho, again, the professionalism and the attitude, even if a new manager came in, and the new owners come in, all that kind of stuff, I'd still get rid of Jadon Sancho, because that situation is a farce. It's not, even whether you think he was disrespected or he didn't want to apologise. I just don't want that. I don't even want that personality at the club. Any of the players, they can all go. They can all go. And because if you got rid of Ten Hag and they replace it all and Sancho comes back in hugging, it's great. You know what happened there. Everyone can go. And it's not as if he's done loads. There's another player that came in on a huge wage and hasn't done anything. Like with a lot of these Man United players, overvalued, overhyped, overcompensated for their contract as well. Everyone must go. The Boxing Day sales aren't for a couple of days, but they should start early for Manchester United. Everyone go. Speaking of going, I'm going. Hope you have a good Christmas. I probably won't speak to you until Boxing Day now. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all, and appreciate everyone that's tuned in this year for Matchday Reloaded. I think I've got a couple more Matchday Reloaded before the year ends. So, I guess I'll save the year end speeches for anything like that. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and don't let football get you down too much. It's only a game. Yeah, it's only a game. Have a good Christmas. I'm out of here. Peace.